What's up, guys? This is Fico, and this is my movie mind, and it is around 1 o'clock. I had just arrived from my friend Noah and Ann's house, and we just came out of the movie theaters like like an hour ago. We just saw Snow White and the Huntsman, and I'm doing a small little rant review sort of deal of what I thought of the movie. And well, for those of you who don't know about Snow White and the Huntsman, this is basically a retelling, sort of just like a different adapted story of Snow White, the evil queen, most of those elements that are in the book. I can't say I remember 100%. I only remember the small little details. And, well, of course, the seven dwarfs. I mean, you can't really, you know, go with that just like, without knowing that. Now, earlier this year, there was another movie that was about the same thing. I don't even remember the name of the movie. It was sort of like a rom-com, but it was based off the exact same story. It looked really stupid, and I was like, okay, this is sort of like a warm-up movie to this one. And I think everybody was sort of expecting that this movie was going to be this incredible adaptation. It looked darker. It looked like it was well made. There were a couple of worries. For example, Kristen Stewart, you know, coming from the Twilight series, not a very good resume as of lately, of the couple of years. But I've always liked Kristen Stewart, and I didn't want it to. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt, and she didn't disappoint. I saw Charlize Theron in those previews playing the evil queen. She really didn't disappoint. She was really good. I mean, she was like over the top. She was evil. She was loud. She was noisy. She was like possessed in this one goal. She has one goal in this as the queen, and is to stay as beautiful for as long as she could possibly can, which is pretty much forever. And then you got Chris Hemsworth, which is the Huntsman of the title. And, you know, I kept on thinking in the back of my mind that he was going to somehow pull Mjolnir from somewhere. He's like stretch his hand and be like, come here, Mjolnir, come here. Oh no, wait, I'm in the wrong movie. And this, he actually did a little more acting, a little more showing from him, considering the material he was told he had to read. And I'll get through the positives and basically narrow them down little by little. Snow White and the Huntsman, I liked it. I honestly liked it. I think it was a good movie. I didn't think it was a great movie. I didn't think it was an awesome movie. I think it was a good movie. But it had the hype of being a great movie, you know? I mean, when you see a movie like this, and you're sort of kind of just like, you know, you see so many fairy tale movies, and then you see like, you know, Once Upon a Time and Grimm and on TV, and then you see this other movie based on the same Snow White story, and it's like sort of like a more faithful to the adaptation, whatever. This one was supposed to be like okay, now, enough with the games. This was for real. This is definitely what we're here to see. And the movie had a lot of really good moments. It was well shot. The special effects were amazing. I mean, the dark forest looked incredible. There was a portion where you sort of kind of stumble into like this mystical fairy tale land where you hear singing and when you hear singing, and well, it's sort of just you do feel at times you're immersed into this. There you go. You do sometimes feel like you're immersed into this fairy tale, and but at times, the movie sort of just didn't know what it wanted to be at times. Whether it wanted to be like, mystical fairy tale. You got the evil queen. She's full of dark magic. Clearly, the concept of magic exists. There's fantasy in this. You got the creatures. You got the dwarfs. You've got the I think you got fairies in there too. It's a mystical, magical land, and at times it sort of looks like the new Robin Hood movie. It just looks as though they took real elements and they put it in a fantasy world. They forgot it was a fantasy world. It's sort of just kind of like you get the barrier of reality, and all of a sudden you get the barrier of fantasy. You don't know which one it wants to go with, but it comes okay. It comes pretty good. The performances were, like I said, given to what they were given to work with in the writing. I'm not disappointed too much because, I see it as, this is a fairy tale. This is supposed to be a different world. This world doesn't exist. This is supposed to be more of the age of, like, merriness and stuff like, princesses and princes and passion and swashbuckling and scoundrelness, and that's all really fun in the movie, but at times it also doesn't look so fun. I mean, it tries, this is one of my main complaints about the movie. It tries to do a lot, and it sort of just tries to be like the whimsical movie, the fantasy movie, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of action every so often. There's the thrilling parts, the scary parts. It tries to borrow a little bit of everything, just try to put it all together, and the story suffers because you're trying to get through a good movie. But sometimes when you're dealing with a movie where you're trying to get a different take on these characters, you don't get a backstory on them. You don't get much history about, this queen, except how she became the queen. Maybe like one flashback about how she became this evil incarnation. And it's funny because my friend Ann absolutely hated the movie. She hated the movie because, as I told, there are scenes where they just happen, and I think they just happen because, well, this is an adaptation to Snow White. But if these scenes didn't happen, it wouldn't be Snow White. It'd be just like half a Snow White, and she sort of complained that there are some moments that just come out of nowhere and characters that didn't need to be there, the characters that didn't need it to be introduced at all because they didn't do anything, they didn't need them. And I guess one of my biggest complaints is that I think the cheese factor might have been turned on a little bit. The cheese factor, I call it, is when they turn a good performance and they flip the cheese switch, and all of a sudden it gets really over the top. Now, there was a lot of yelling and a lot of screaming, but at times it does sort of feel as though it is warranted for that. Kristen Stewart, definitely you believe that this girl is Snow White, that she is like this whimsical, pure embodiment of good, and Charlize Theron is the pure essence of evil and suffering, and this movie, it plays up good. There are a couple of moments where she was like for example, I'm not going to spoiling much, but it's like, Snow White's basically trapped in the tower for the majority of her life, and all of a sudden she escapes the castle, and see she can run, she can survive. You know, if I get stuck up in a tower and I can't run and I can't do anything, you think you'd be a little disoriented. I get it. She knows her own castle, but, you know, we're given the belief that she's stuck there basically almost all her young life. But not going to spoil anything from this point on. Will you like it if you see it? It depends. I wouldn't go with it into this movie thinking it's going to be like The Avengers or any other big blockbuster movie that is getting like the buzz. I would just go in it just as a, like, say, if you want to see a new take on Snow White, if you want to see a movie where you see Charlize Theron be as evil as she could possibly be, if you want to see Kristen Stewart not act like Bella and actually show some emotion, let me give you an example. This Sharpie, before Snow White and the Huntsman, this Sharpie had more personality than Bella Swan in the entire Twilight Saga. This Sharpie, let me show you. This Sharpie, this had a better chance of winning an award for acting than Kristen Stewart. And she did a good job in this movie. I liked her. I mentioned before, there are other actors in this movie, but the major ones are Charlize Theron, Kristen Stewart, and Chris Hemsworth. Would I recommend this movie to anybody? I would recommend it. I wouldn't recommend seeing it in theaters. Maybe just give it a rental. But it wouldn't be a bad movie to go see in the movies. But, I mean, like I said, it's a good movie. It's not a great movie. So I guess if you can afford not, if you rather wait to see it till it gets to rental, wait. If you're willing to wait, just wait. It's not a terrible movie. It's not a bad movie. So there will be people that will be, you know, giving reviews about how bad it is. But my personal opinion is Snow White and the Huntsman might have been much better if it had just, like, maybe done more to just, like, develop its story. There were moments where I felt it may have taken parts from other movies, just to show that, like, it can do these sort of shots. I would have liked that if they were going to redo the story of Snow White. Part of the reason why Snow White is so epic is because it's a story, and this movie needed to not forget that it had a story. But, you know, in spite of its flaws, it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. I would recommend anybody to watch it. If I was, like I said before, I'm just getting started with the sort of movie ratings here. But if I was going to give it anything, I would give it a 3 out of 5, because even though there are characters that I hated in this movie, it's moments where I was just sort of like going, okay. I actually, you know, stood back, admired it, and liked the look of it, and I actually liked Kristen Stewart in this movie. I was afraid. I turned my brain off from Twilight, and I was like, let me give this girl a chance. But anyway, my friend Ann is going to be posting a rant about it, so maybe I could just post it in later and show it to you guys. But anyway, I hope that you guys, if you guys are interested in watching it. If you guys rather wait, I would recommend you wait. But Snow White and the Huntsman, not a. I keep repeating it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie, but you know, keep repeating it. Just trying not to give away too much. But anyway, if anybody likes this video or have any opinions or want to leave a comment about what you guys thought about Snow White and the Huntsman, you could leave positive, negative comments. Any good Snow White movies that you've seen you rather recommend over this one, let me know. And as always, if you guys like what you see here, subscribe, and until next time, hopefully the next movie I will be talking about is Prometheus! Yes!